Yes. 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 Episode 2. Sunday Best, what's going on? Designated Report presents the warm-up. Round 2, Week 2, Episode 2. We are back. What's going on, people? I am Jay. You can find me on Instagram personally. j.jpg. Happy to have everybody here. We got some things to talk about. Week 1 was pretty entertaining. Week 2, we got some matchups. We got some fantasy things to talk about. I'm just, I want to salute all the day ones from exactly 7 days ago. This thing's going to grow. It's going to be something. And just really happy for the people that were here. And when this turns into something, man, you'll be able to say you were here in the very beginning. But let's talk NFL. What up? First, listen. I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I make some bad takes. I'm not ready to do that right now. But let's do a recap. Thursday Night Football feels like forever ago. However, just a few days. It was the Bengals and the Browns. On paper, it's looking like, man, why would I watch this? Odell on the hot seat. Will he be traded? Baker on the hot seat. Do they need him? Will they bench him? Is he the next in a long line of useless, underachieving Browns quarterbacks? I don't know, man. They showed up, and they won that game. Actually, if you didn't see the game, let's rewind. If you didn't see the game, let me help you decide who won that game. Joe Burrow is the truth, outplayed Baker. 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Whoa, the Bengals are here, right? Except Bengals had about 68 yards rushing as a team. The Browns, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb combined for over 200. Okay? Bengals couldn't get to Baker Mayfield. We're missing 2 of their top 3 defensive tackles and couldn't get the pressure. So how is it going to turn out when you can't get to the opposing team's quarterback, right? You have no running game. And you're a rookie quarterback, you're going to rely on the tight end, which he did, and that tight end had a touchdown before he got hurt. And you're going to rely on your chemistry with receivers in a season where you didn't have any real organized time, preseason games or anything like that. Joe Burrow still balled. He's still going to be a beast. However, that 0-2 start is a death sentence, especially for the Bengals playing in a division with those Browns, with Super Bowl heavy favorite Ravens, and with the Steelers, who are looking like they might be back too. So this season is more going to be about can he continue to get that chemistry with his guys? Can the defense turn into the defense that was doing things when Marvin Lewis was back there? And man, AJ Green? Where were you, bro? Was somebody else wearing that 18 jersey? Because 13 targets, 3 catches, 29 yards. I saw personally with my own analytics 3 on-target drops by AJ Green, man. You're better than that. When he's out there for a full 16, easily a 1,000-yard receiver, but he wasn't looking like that. He wasn't looking like that, AJ Green. But there's some other guys that might step up. Not John Ross, though. Shoot, you want to talk bust? Not that. But Baker's seat, not as hot. Odell's seat, not as hot, man. Baker came through, played a nice little game. Odell had a game that we're used to having from him. We need to see more of that. Odell doing his thing. And, for the Browns, like, what's it going to be? You got to win your division. That's the easiest path to the playoffs. But with that extra playoff spot, can you just win 10 games? Can the Browns win 10 games? With that schedule that they got, again, playing the Steelers and the Ravens, they already got Cincy by 5 in that Thursday night game, but off to a good start. their season's not over. Like I said, that 0-2 is really hard to overcome, which was explained by our boy John L. Pinnell, who wrote a great story y'all should check out on Designated.report.com this past week. That's where you can find all of our good writing stories. Check us out, doing our thing. Also, find us on Twitter at DesignatedReport, REP. You're already here right now, man. You might as well give us a follow on Instagram if you're not doing that already. Find us on Facebook as well. Shout out to Designated Kicks. Shout out to Designated Report Behind the Lens. Man, we got some good things coming in addition to the warm-up. Like I said, we're still growing, man. We're doing our thing. I appreciate you coming through. When I come through in the Lisa Simpson, you know I'm just sick of you fourth graders and your fourth grade takes. But I made some mistakes. Again, I will own up to the things that I said. I apologize to two guys. I can admit when I'm wrong. Let's talk about old faces and new places. Obviously, Tampa stockpiling some new guys. How did Tom Brady play in week 1? Pick 6, right? Came out of halftime down 10 thinking, I think we can get back into this. We're not going to panic here. After a first drive with a perfect first throw, ran in a touchdown on that first drive and just never really was the same after that. And there's cause for concern. Can he get back on the saddle against the Panthers? Remains to be seen. Obviously, 1 o'clock game today. I will take you right up to 1 o'clock, of course. Who else? Gronk did nothing. Who else? Leonard Fournette did nothing. Let's see what they can do, right? Cam Newton, old face, new place, new hair. Man, led the team in rushing. I don't think anybody's really surprised by that. Ran in a couple scores, did his thing. The swag was the same. Cam doing his thing, came through in the yellow suit. Looking like he was Jim Carrey in The Mask or something like that. I think that we can expect more of Cam Newton's game than Tom Brady's game being put on Cam in New England. And I appreciate that as somebody who wants to see good football. I don't want to see somebody made to play like somebody else. You got Cam. You went and got him. So you got to figure out what he does. And he tucks it and he runs, right? So maybe he's going to lead the team not in just rushing yards, but rushing attempts, maybe. But he's not Tom Brady. But he is a former NFL MVP. So let's figure out what it's going to be. He had a great game, right? And I don't know, though. It's not about his talent and what he can do. It's about his talent and what he can do against the people that are on the other side of the ball. You can be the greatest dude, but if you can't make it happen, that's just going to be what it's going to be. Sunday Night Football in Seattle. My picks are coming up. Some will surprise you. He had a great first game. Are they going to win the AFC East? Probably, right? Are they going to go to the playoffs? Probably because of that. But what are you really going to do in December? That tuck and run is really helpful, but when you got that spy, and hopefully you can stay healthy, what's it going to be? So that remains to be seen. Another old face in a new place. Let's talk about Phillip Rivers. He was all right. Todd Gurley, he was all right. Jamal Adams, he was all right. Good, not great. Week 1. Are we overreacting to week 1? Speaking of overreactions in week 1, man, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shout out to all 4 of my followers on Twitter. I put out, man, this bandwagon is really picking up speed with all the people hopping off and going back to New England, telling Bill Belichick, man, we're back. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. In this divorce, we chose the wrong guy. We chose mom. We should have chose our daddy, Bill Belichick. We're here, we're on our hands and knees. Take us back in New England. Cam Newton seems like a cool guy. I just want to win. Take me back. That bandwagon in Tampa's picking up more speed. I mean, and that's fine. We can overreact on this one because we were sold a dream. We were told that this guy Brady was going to come through, change our culture, make our dudes better even on the defensive side of the ball. Somehow the kicker was going to make more kicks because Tom Brady was there. It was going to elevate everybody in practice and in the game. And defense played pretty good. Ronald Jones was running the ball pretty effectively. It turned out to be that guy, the savior, who wasn't really doing this thing. So if he can, I know he's going to hold himself accountable. You kept hearing in the press like Bruce Arians said this, Tom Brady said that. Let's ask all these people. Let's ask Tom Brady's dad. Let's ask Bruce Arians' wife. Like, how do we feel about Tom Brady's first performance? Let's just play ball, boys. Like, I'm talking about 1 p.m. today. Let's pick back up. Let's pick back up, man. Week 2, Panthers. I mean, it's not a great team. You never know in that division, though. So, shout out to the rest of that organization, the rest of that team who's doing some really good things. Tom Brady, you got to pick up the slack, bro. It's you. It's on you now. It's you. You're the old face in the new place that's got to make it happen. Extra playoff spot. I mean, my prediction was that the Bucs would get that last playoff spot. Maybe Super Bowl, but I'm talking the hard road. I didn't say they're going 16-0, 14-2, none of that kind of stuff. Because you don't need to do that. It'd be nice, but you don't need to do that. Yeah, the team looks really good on paper, but a lot of teams look good on paper. So, let's get to my picks this week, man. I got the Bears over the Giants. I got the Cowboys over the Falcons. I got the Packers over the Lions. Vikings over the Colts. I like that game, though. Bills over the Dolphins. The Niners are over the Jets in my prediction. However, they are flying across country to play this Jets team who is hungry, and they have no George Kittle. So that's a game you really got to keep an eye on. I'm still saying San Fran got it, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. The needle's not really moving too hard on that one. I think the Eagles get right with the win over the Rams. I really do. Steelers over the Broncos, who are missing a couple guys, possibly 2 big-name guys that I will get to in a little bit. Tampa's over Carolina. I got that. The Titans over the Jags. I got the Cardinals over the football team. Right? And I got Houston over Baltimore in the upset special. That's what I got. Chiefs over the Chargers. That's easy. Okay. Seattle is at home. Cam Newton, Bill B, flying across the country the other way. Let's see what they got. I think it could be a Pacific Northwest beatdown. That's what I'm calling. Cam could play well. Bill could play well. I don't think they come out with the win. Do they win by 20 or lose by 20? I don't know. But Russ is just a dude. And Bill had to put some respect on Russ's name, saying he doesn't know that there's a better player in the league right now. And he deserves that. He deserves that respect because he's from that you're doing. All right, I got to get into some bad takes. I had two bad takes last week. And I'm not really fully ready to ingest one of them, but I will step up because this is how it's supposed to go. Aaron Rodgers is obviously an avid viewer of the show. A-Rod, what up? Appreciate you. Because I said this year wouldn't be it for him. I said it's a wrap for him. And I'm not going to let 1 week make me feel terrible about my pick. But obviously he heard me because he went out and threw 4 touchdowns. And yeah, that man embarrassed me. I played myself. So sorry to that man. Aaron Rodgers. I still think he's on, should I say it? I still think this isn't going to be it for him. I don't think that they're going to draft this new guy to come in and yeah, he keeps his job all year. I don't think he's going to lose his job. I think he's going to be great. He ain't my GOAT. And we'll talk in January. I say to everybody who isn't really feeling me on the A-Rod talk, we'll talk in January. We know his history in the playoffs. We know what he's maybe capable of, and we know what he's done. So we'll see. They got Jordan Love for a reason. You were 1 game, maybe 1 piece from the Super Bowl, and your own organization who sees you practice every day, self-scouts, knows what you're capable of, said, we're going to get a receiver, a running back, basically everybody at every offensive position, but then also get a quarterback? So I'm not saying they don't believe. I'm just saying they're thinking about the future in a time where they should be thinking about just that 1 notch they could have got to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be trash, right? I'm going to own up to that, though, right? Like, Aaron Rodgers, sorry to that man. The other one, this is the big one. this is the big one. I don't even know if it's I don't think that it's a bad take, but I definitely did not put proper respect on the name of DeAndre Hopkins. All right? I said, rewind the tape, I said you can't put a great receiver with a good quarterback and expect it to be great right away. DeAndre Hopkins had a career high 14 catches for 151 yards in a win over the Niners. That's on me. That's on me. Listen, this is me officially saying that I messed that up, and this dude is for real. And I wasn't saying he wasn't for real. I think that Bill O'Brien's the only dude that thought he wasn't for real. Whatever personal friction and stuff was going on, that is what that is. But he was good right away. I said he wouldn't be good right away. He was good right away. And I'm intrigued. Listen, let me expand. I'm intrigued by this Cardinals team. Because, like, what are they capable of? Talk about culture and talk about the Cardinals. Yeah, they had Kurt Warner, went to the Super Bowl. Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald. When you think Cardinals, you think Larry Fitzgerald. Now we got to start thinking about some other guys. Larry's a top 3, top 4 receiver all time, but we got to start looking to the future there as well. And I think that's what they did. And I think that's why they went and got Hop. Right? I think Larry's passing the torch here. He's no longer going to be a 100-catch guy, but Hop can be. And we don't need Larry to catch 100 passes. We need him to catch about 40 or 50, but they need to be meaningful. They need to be in the slot. He needs to be a first down guy. He doesn't necessarily need to be a touchdown guy. Kenyon Drake, I mean, he didn't explode onto the scene this past week. However, we know what he did last year. I was impressed. So we're talking about a Cardinals offense with Kyler Murray, who is looking like he's taking the next step, boy. What? More on him in a second. Kenyon Drake, okay. A backup who's more than capable. D-Hop, Larry Fitzgerald, and backups there at the wide receiver that are more than capable. I know Andy Isabella didn't put up numbers, but listen, he's a speedster. So is he going to turn into a John Ross, or is he going to turn into a Wes Welker type, right? This guy can move. I know he had less than 200 yards, but he's sharing with everybody else, including Christian Kirk. If Christian Kirk can stay healthy, I think that he's going to be a major contributor in that offense too. I really like what's going on. Don't forget who they picked in the first round too. Isaiah Simmons, who can play all sorts of positions on that defense. I'm impressed, man. I think this is going to be a really good team. But again, it's not about what you got going on paper. It's not about what you are capable of doing. It's about what you actually go out and do against your division, first and foremost, and the other teams that you got coming in. Your division is 6 games. And then you got 10 more. What can you do against the Niners twice? What can you do against the Rams twice? What can you do when you travel up to Seattle? What can you do? And then you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And in the NFL, you got to beat some teams that you weren't supposed to. That's the mark of a champion. And that's what they're going for. Everybody was saying, Kyler, man, just take the baseball money. It's guaranteed. They're saying he's too small. He's Pat White 2.0. One hit might change everything. Then he'll go running back to baseball. He said, nah, I think this is it. They said, but how tall are you? How much do you weigh? He said, nah, but how fast am I and how accurate do I throw the ball? Kyler Murray is the truth. Kenyon Drake is all right. D-Hop is more than all right. Larry Fitz is going to be all right. Is this his last go-around? I don't know. Let's get that tight end popping. Let's get some linemen in there for the long haul. I'm talking 10 years. Let's get some linemen, 8 to 10 years, that can protect this man. And let's see what the Cardinals can be. Don't look at the name of the team. Look about what... We don't want to be a dark horse anymore, Arizona said. Let's go make a splash. Let's trade for some guys the past couple years. Let's see what that's going to be about. All right. Let's talk fantasy. You have less than 10 minutes to set your fantasy lineups. You have less than 10 minutes to set your fantasy lineups. I don't want you to hop out of here, but if you have to go set your lineup, go do what you got to do. Make sure you come back, though. All right? Philip Lindsay is out, turf toe. Melvin Gordon's going to get all those carries today. All right? Kenny Galladay is out today with a hammy. Jack Doyle of the Colts, tight end, he's out today. Who else they got at tight end? Jamison Crowder, out today. After a pretty big game, at least one huge play for the Jets. Alshon Jeffrey, out. When's he in? Here are the big ones. We knew about George Kittle. He's out with a knee. If you don't have a replacement by now for George Kittle, you better hurry up and see if Jordan Reed is available. Yeah, that Jordan Reed. That Jordan Reed, formerly of the Washington football team. Jordan Reed, Connecticut CT stand-up Jordan Reed. He's now with the San Francisco 49ers. Y'all know he's a playmaker. I wish that he wasn't still in the league, and not for any hate, but man, this guy takes too many shots to the head. Praying for the health of Jordan Reed. I hope he goes off today. I really do. That's a guy you should be getting. Don't look at other teams. Handcuff your team to Jordan Reed. That's a guy that you should be thinking about to take over when George Kittle's out, because we don't know how long he's going to be out. Chris Godwin of the Bucs is out with a concussion. Yeah, he practiced. He was listed as doubtful, and then he was suited up with his helmet on, but let's think about the long game. Let's think about 16 games and beyond. So he's out. Mike Evans is in, even though he's had hamstring issues, so he's in. But look for Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller is going to be your guy who did pretty decently. He had, I believe, 75 yards last game. He's going to get more touches now. So look for Scotty Miller. If he's still out there right now with 6 minutes to go, this is the dude you need to pick up right now. Scotty Miller, Bucks. Then A.J. Brown's a big loss for the Titans. A.J. Brown is a big loss for the Titans. They went and drafted Corey Davis a few years before they went and got A.J. Brown. And Corey Davis was, I believe, the 5th pick in the draft. He was supposed to be the guy, and he hasn't been the guy. He was incredible in college. And now he's going to get all these targets, and let's talk about what he can do with those targets. Today might be his day. I don't know if Corey Davis is owned by a large percentage of people in the league. He may be at this point because A.J. Brown is out. So let's run it down again. Philip Lindsay, out. Kenny Galladay, out. Jack Doyle, out. Jamison Crowder, out. Alshon Jeffrey is out. George Kittle, Chris Godwin, A.J. Brown, all out. You only got a few to find your replacements. And set your lineups, everybody. Set your lineups. It's been great. We're heating up. It's the warm-up. Week 2, round 2, episode 2. I appreciate everybody. I'll see you back next week to talk about what happened in the 1 o'clocks and the 4 o'clocks, Sunday night, Monday Night Football, and next Thursday night, right? So come through. Let's chat. Let's talk about your squad and why they can win and why they can't win. Let's trash my squad like we always do. Man, I appreciate everybody. God bless. Have a really good Sunday. Get your wings, get your pizza, all that. Peace. Peace.